Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity yet again. Having been on various task force and pioneered the concept of cruising in India back in 1993, when we actually literally had to get the word cruise spelt out and explained what a cruise vacation meant. From there to now, we've come a long way, and I'm sure there's much more ahead that we can achieve together. So just to give you the few opportunities, of course, India today needs to grab its position as a major cruise hub, which we lost 20 years ago to China. And the reasons why we need to grab our positioning is because we are very strategically placed. I don't need to tell you the location. Everything that crosses from the Mediterranean to the eastern region to Southeast Asia or beyond, and vice versa, has to pass through India. Every vessel has to pass through India. So we really need to be out there to be able to get our money's worth. Of course, we have a long coastline, and that's been discussed already, so I don't need to get into that, with huge diversity. We are one of the few countries that offers multiple ports of call. When a cruise ship, home ports at any base, let's say in a country, normally what they do is use the home port and they're traveling out of that country to other countries, especially in the Mediterranean or in the Caribbean. Here we have the unique opportunity of having a vast coastline and therefore offering multiple ports of call, and that has not been utilized at all. We don't have a home port today for a foreign flag carrier. Of course, Angria is different, and now we have Cordelia, which is another domestic cruise line, but we need to develop a home port to be able to get investment into the country, and we are working towards that. So that was the other an opportunity. We have the ability, of course, to offer both land and shore excursions on a cruise ship because of our vast coastline. And what so you can do really in basic terms is that if a ship is based in Bombay and is going to exit from Cochin, we can fly people into the landlocked areas like Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, for example, may let them experience our heritage and culture and take the ship out of Cochin. We have a robust railway system and great air connectivity, so we can combine that with the ocean cruising. Creating a blue revolution by using water corridors both on the oceans and our rivers and giving a combo thereof. The ability to open corridors linking to neighboring countries and therefore really developing the region as a strong economy. We had proposed that maybe there be a one visa regime for the SAARC countries, so that like the Schengen, where you can travel to multiple countries on that one visa, but that's still up in the air. We have skilled manpower and we have hospitality in our DNA. And the best part is that we are an English-speaking country. So really, India today is the largest exporter of manpower to the world over, to the major cruise lines. And I think that's a plus for us. We've got diversity, of course, within the country with heritage, adventure, culture, etc. Very strong domestic market, and we've seen that during COVID because we just had to bounce back on our own backwaters because the cruise industry was shut completely, as we know. Today, India is probably the highest source market or the largest source market to countries like Singapore. We've got a growing economy. We discussed that this morning. And I think India will be a super economic power very soon. So again, it makes sense that we develop this because the US, the continent of US and Europe, which was actually imbibed cruising from the late 80s, has now saturated. And we have new builds coming into the fleet the world over, because these were all pre-ordered during COVID, proposed pre-COVID, and now we are taking deliveries. And we need to find berthing space for these new ships and vessels because we can't keep going back to the same country. So, the same region. So India, again, needs to get its act together and get there. Of course, we know that we have a young population willing to explore new, unique experiences. The cruise industry is a big catalyst for employment and the multiplier effect on the economy. Cruise vacations are a composite vacation which encompasses all the facets of tourism. That's your accommodation, recreation, entertainment, ground transportation, air connectivity, shore excursion, shopping, local community involvement, which is really essential for some of our states, that as we see it, and we've spoken about that already. The only way that we can progress, or one of the unique ways of we need to progress, is if we allow foreign flag carriers who have the ability to invest as in our country as a home port to come into the country in partnership with the government and our port authorities. India is not known as a, let's say, cruise shipping a building country. We've built vessels and we are getting there, but we are not there as far as cruise ships are concerned. So the only way, the fastest way to increase this investment is to allow flag carriers to come in who already have the equipment. As I said, we have new builds coming in with every 6 months we take delivery of a new ship, and like us there are other companies, and the company I represent is the second largest in the world, which is Royal Caribbean Cruises. So there is opportunity there. I spoke about the SAARC country connectivity, and of course, needless to say that tourism is a catalyst in building friendly relationships with our neighbors. That apart, last but not the least, in the opportunity front, tourism contributes to national integration within the country in a very big way. What are the challenges? Sustainability in our approach, attitude in our mindset, establishing sustainable policies and procedures. We are not there at all currently. That's a separate matter. Single window clearance. We have been bounced from ministry to ministry to ministry. We don't know where we belong. We don't know who to approach for our challenges. We don't know where to go. Every day there is a new committee, settlement, task force that sets up. I've been on committees for the last 10 years. Copious notes, copious consultancy, and huge amounts of money has been spent. There is no accountability and responsibility as to who's going to carry this forward. We need to have ease to do business with, which is currently something that we need to get into again at a very fast pace, because it's not happening, and our principals are questioning as to what is it that India wants, what is it that why isn't there any sustainability and continuity and what in our approach. Marketing India as a cruise hub is non-existent. We need a clear communication there. Treat the industry. The industry is nascent, and Captain Don just mentioned that. We are at a startup stage. Treat us like the IT industry 20 years ago. Give us the incentives. Play with us. Let us grow, and then you can come in with your SOPs and your taxes and your whatever else there is that you need to do. But let us at least get our feet off the ground. It's been over 10 years. Discussions have been in progress. I just mentioned that. We need the impetus to surge ahead. Last but not the least, a clear policy needs to be in place. All I need to say is, I'll conclude to say that India is not a country. She's a mindset. Let's change ours and get our act together. Thank you.
So very right. In fact,